Hello, everybody. I am SS the Showstopper, and today is the 11th of May 2024. Welcome to my world. That was a song that I used to listen. I used to listen that song when it was playing on the television. They always have it in advertisement. Welcome to my world. I think it's like these Elvis Presley or those type of older men who did the song. I know it's a Paul Anka. No, it's most like a Elvis Presley song and such. Forgive me, guys. I was trying to find the green that can match this because this is like a bluish green. It's not teal. It's not teal. It looks like teal, but it's not teal. But I was trying to find the green that matches this, but I couldn't. Okay. I guess by the caption, you guys can tell what I am going to talk about, which is the situation that was brewing on the internet, and that's between Dyema, social media sensation dancer Dyema, and her mother. Let me adjust this screen a little bit because there is something that is in the frame that is blocking me from seeing much, and because of such I have to adjust the screen. I don't want something to be seen that is not supposed to be seen, and I can't really tell. But anyways, I'm going to talk about the situation between Dyema and her mother that was a shocking display yesterday. However, here's the thing. I'm not going to play any of the video. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to re-upload it because it does no good. I'm not the bearer of spreading negative news, bad messages, or anything like that. And because that's not the avenue or energy that I channel, what's the sense of me replaying something like that when it does no good? It's just for sensation and who want to click and get likes and all these kind of things very easily on their channel. They are the persons that's going to do it. So if you want to see the video, you can either go on TikTok where they're constantly replaying it after it was screen recorded, or some other YouTube channel that have it. However, I'm going to speak on the situation because I said that I wasn't going to address it, but someone sent me it and said that, you can talk about it, braze over it, I can color it, paint it up. I'm saying me now. I can color it and paint it up how I want to, so I can put the information forward. Now, she was on her live yesterday and it was showing her and her mother going at it. Well, we didn't see the mother, we didn't hear the mother, but it was her cursing that, her mother saying that she built her veranda for her, and she's saying she didn't do it and all of that and yada, yada, yada. However, I've spoke about this ever so often. I spoke about it incorporated with other people's situation where out there well-known people, such as the old Shanice Moore and her mother situation and other persons out there. And I can't stress it very often or often enough that you never wash your dirty linen in public. You never take your private business to the public, because what you do is open up the windows for persons who are living even worse than you, persons who are in way worse situation than you, have something negative to say, not only about the person that you are going at, but also you. So that's one of the reasons you don't wash your dirty linen in public, because you're giving onlookers way too much ammunition and things to say about you. Yes, it's okay and fine and dandy to say that you don't care, you don't this, you don't that. But eventually when you read the comment, does it give you a good feeling? No. And that bad feeling that you get, it generates hormone. You understand? It generates hormone that you don't want to be harboring, you don't want to be increasing in you. And so it's going to lead to depression. It's going to lead to depression. So that's why you are always advised not to wash your dirty linen in public. You are always advised not to do so. You understand? And because of such, I don't necessarily support that video at all. I don't think that she should have went live. I think she should have turned off the live once she realized that it's going left and all of these kind of things. But people are doing things for clout. People want their name out there. People want attention by any means. And so they will go live and they will say this. They will say that family matters are private, they're personal. These things don't just go away, especially when you're blood related to an individual. It don't just go away. The public has no business to be in it unless it's a case wherein it's therapeutic, meaning that there is a counselor, there's a mediator between two, you understand, and you're actually seated, like a situation with a Dr. Phil or something like that, wherein you would be giving something out there in a wholesome manner, suggesting that you are actually seeking help, and persons who are going through the same thing will also get help. Because when I'm reading through the comments, persons are mainly saying similar things that, I saw my mother see, I saw this and that, and I understand. Nobody's giving a good advice to say turn off your life, come off the internet, do not do this, do not say this. Yes, she won't listen, but at least it would show that you are in a better position or you know better, so you are actually suggesting something positive. Not many people were doing that. Many persons were chiming in, giving their 2 cents, aiding it on and all these kind of things, and you don't want to. I think there was someone in her background, it's a male, I'm not sure if she's related to the person, and that person was saying that, why are you talking about it then? If you know you built it and stuff, why are you following it up and this and that? So he was trying to quell the matter. However, she was irate, and she was on 100, and her life was on and she was going at it. So that's not what I would recommend for anybody to do. Moving on to the other part of it. The other part is that when it comes to a situation when it relates to children and parents and stuff like that, there are parents who better to have a familiar spirit than a parent. They always think that, okay, they give birth to you, they can say just about anything and get away with it. They can do just about anything and get away with it. And how dare you say anything because I gave birth to you and I do this and I do that. I can relate. I have a daughter. Hello. She was giving me a lecture yesterday about my lashes. A whole lecture I was getting about my lashes and stuff like that. So I know I've been in the situation also where I develop a familiar spirit with my daughter, where I believe that I could say just about anything, not realizing that I'm actually hurting her. And sometimes we think that, okay, because we're parents, we can say just about anything and it should be okay. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to set boundaries and limitation, even when it comes to your child. You have to respect the fact that they are human beings, they have feelings, and that's one of the things that I've realized, I've come to accept, that my daughter has feelings and I should always respect her opinion. If she's rude, abrupt, and disrespectful, that's a whole different matter. You understand? But never have a familiar spirit with your child. They are not your friend, allies. You are a parent, they're a child. Even if they make $1 million per day, it makes no difference. They are your child. You have to respect boundaries. You have to respect limitation so they can do the same. Because they will grow up with a familiar spirit and then it becomes what? Disrespectful. Where they will think that they can say just about anything to you the same way you were saying just about anything to them, and you don't want that. So at the end of the day, this is what we're saying. And persons who are chiming in once again saying that if her mother is dissing her, she can diss up her mother, she free for this and free for that, oh, your mother nothing, those persons are persons who have all hope, is lost on them. All hope is lost on their part. So they are without pride, they are without shame, they are without self-respect. And because they are without it, now their mother has become just about anyone to them. And so the same way they will say just about anything to anybody, they will say to their own mother. You can't listen to those type of individuals. Those type of people are damaged beyond repair. They're not seeking to be repaired. They're comfortable with the personality that they have generated through much hurt, through much trauma, wherein they were disrespected, they were SA victims, and I'm getting back to that SA victim case. And so with that, like I said, all self-respect is out the window. So they believe that the same way they were hurt, they can hurt other persons. They can hurt even their own mother, their own father. They can say just about anything and get away with it because their mother has become just about anybody to them. You understand? Remember, I did the video, about 2-3 videos I'm doing, and I'm keep on saying that a lot of these women who are on the internet and they're vile, foul at the mouth, loud, extremely loud, overly aggressive. Many of them are usually SA victim, were molested and all these kind of things. So all hope is lost. All shame and pride goes out the window. So anything that comes to their mouth, they will just say it. They will do it on the internet and they will care less because all pride have been lost. It's like paradise lost. The art of John Milton. It's paradise lost. And so because paradise has been lost, anything goes. Anything goes, whatever it is, it's open season on anybody where they can say just about anything and they will get away with it. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. I understand where Dyema is coming from. I have a mother and I've spoken several times about being at odds with her and all these kind of things. We're on a great page now and I'm keeping it that I choose to keep it that way. And because of such, it has been going great so far, so good for a very good while. And I'm very proud of myself and I'm proud of her also. There are certain things that are simply not going to change. Certain behavior is simply not going to change. But when you're wiser and you're smarter and you understand who you're dealing with, that's your mother and that's how they are, you trot differently, you move differently, you say things with limitation. You keep the conversation minimal because you know continuing it, it's going to lead to something else. It's going to lead to them start developing that what? Familiar spirit, similar, saying anything. You understand? And you don't want it to get there because it might trigger you or prompt you to say just about anything. So you keep the conversation minimal. Certain topics you don't dwell in because that's what life deck you. That's what you're going to get. And so you have to work with it. But there are certain things that Dyema had said in the video that touches my heart. It touched my heart deeply. And it's when she was saying that she's 40-year-old and her mother disrespecting her and drawing down her underwear, tearing out her body, give her, and throwing tin mackerel in her head, you know, hitting her with bag in public and all these kind of things. Now, that is a form of abuse. That's a form of abuse. That's where, guys, remember, I speak Patois when I speak English, and oftentimes it's going to intertwine. And I also speak very fast. Sometimes my mouth moves faster than my brain. And so I would say things ahead of time. And so my conversation or the wording become juxtaposed. But by listening, you will get to the point. And it touched my heart. You understand? Because at the end of the day, that is abuse. That's beyond being similar. That's beyond having a familiar spirit. If she is more than 40 years old and your mother is treating you like that, that's a woman who simply does not have any respect for you. And that's a woman who actually don't respect herself. Because if you do, you really would not be doing something like that to your own child. You would not be doing something, you wouldn't think of doing something like that. So clearly, like I said, a lot of these persons are abuse victims, and because of that, that's the reason they flip out and they lash out so quickly at people, complete strangers on the internet, because that's how they were treated. And now you guys can see that I wasn't lying. I did psychology. You can tell these type of things. When you see these women behave in certain way on social media, you can tell that a lot of them were molested, a lot of them were SA. It's not an excuse, but it's a psychological effect that it has. It's a trauma. You understand? When you come into self-awareness and you come to a place of self-fulfillment, atonement with yourself, like I have, you realize when you're going too far. And because self-control and self-restraint have come into play, you will pull back. You will realize and say, let me not go this far. Let me not say this, because it's going to have that much effect on that individual. It matters not who the person is. You understand? And it's such a sad situation. It's such a sad situation that oftentimes a person isn't allowed to protect their innocence. They aren't allowed to grow out their innocence. They aren't allowed to be a child without being abused, without being molested, without being assaulted, without being all of these kind of things, which develop psychological trauma. And you now have to become a fighter where you're fighting to not give in to it. And you're also fighting to remain prideful, to remain with your dignity, with your human decency. And that's why it becomes a trauma, because they don't know which angle to turn. They have accepted being rejected. They have accepted that they're ugly, that they're undesirable, that they're this, that they're that. And so because of such, a lot of times that's how they carry themselves, that's how they behave, that's how they display themselves, because they have been hurt so bad. And it's, as I always say, it's such a pity that there isn't an escape or release therapy. What am I saying? A release therapy, or a place wherein you can go, where you can relieve, a park, somewhere where you can relieve. Yes, there's Harmony Park, but sad to say, it's not enough. There's way too much trauma on the island. And, you know, there are counselors out there who will listen. There are people out there who will listen to you, who will hear what you have to say. And one thing I can say, do not seek to be right, especially when it comes to family-related matters. Both parties, do not seek to be right. Seek to be understood. Because if you're seeking to be understood, we can understand where you are coming from. We can see where the problem really lies. And oftentimes it's way bigger than both of you. It's way bigger than both parties. I was having this discussion, and I have been having a continuous discussion with my brother about the same thing. And he has been texting and he has been saying this and he has been saying that. And I'm hearing him because he dropped bombs of knowledge. You understand? And so I listen keenly to what he has to say. Oftentimes I differ, I disagree with him, but I respect his viewpoint. I respect where he's coming from. And so with that being said, it's the same thing that needs to happen. But sometimes, like I said, it's a paradise lost. All hope is lost, and so many people have given up hope and say, I don't need to respect you. I don't even need to respect my own mother. I don't even need to respect my child because I simply don't need to. You understand? I'm too old for that. I'm too big for that. I'm too rich for that. I'm too bold for that. You have put me through so much wherein even if you apologize, I'm not willing to forgive you. I'm not willing. And then the cycle continues. You believe strongly that you getting rid of that person out of your life means that you get rid of the problem. Absolutely not. That's actually when you invite a realm of individuals who will bring back the same trauma to you. There are certain things that you can't fix, but there are certain things that you can help to fix and put limitations on. Once you come to self-awareness, you know how far you are going. You know how far you are willing to go when it comes to certain things with that particular individual. You don't have to keep a distance. You don't have to keep at arm's length. You certainly don't need to come on the internet displaying it. You certainly don't need to be disrespecting each other. Emotional intelligence is very important. You have to know how to maintain composure. You have to know that that person don't need to get the worst of you in this case and not the best of you. The public doesn't need to know your business. It's hard. I won't stay long. It's hard. It's not easy. There are counselors out there who you can speak with. It's not just about trying to prove that you are right. One is wrong, one is right, because you are going to get nowhere. And if you are a victim, eventually you become the narcissist yourself. There are times when I look into myself and I look at the personality traits of a narcissist. I used to ask myself, am I a narcissist? Because I personalize my friends. I used to personalize my friends. And when I find out that they're talking to other persons, not going off on a tangent, I'm relating it. When I realize that they're talking to other persons or stuff like that, I didn't really lash out. I just start avoiding them because I want them for myself. I treat them good. I want them for myself. And when I realize that they are drifting, I interpret that they are drifting once someone else come in the picture. And so I start keeping them very far away from me. And I realized that it was a kind of a narcissistic trait. You understand that I needed to adjust. Moving back to the situation with her and her mother. You understand her mother has developed something that is similar, where she believes that anything she say, she can say it and tomorrow she will come back and it will all be mended and it will all be fixed and all of that. No, you have to respect boundaries. I had to respect boundaries with people I associate with. I had to respect limitations because what? It makes me a better person. And so that's the same thing. She have to respect, Dyema have to respect boundaries with her mother. Her mother has to respect boundaries with her. You understand? And both of them cannot fix it like that. It needs a solid mediator because it should not have been released on social media. We didn't need to see this. We didn't need to hear what has been taking place. And it's so sad. I'm going off, guys. I'm lazy. I'm tired. I'm making excuses, but it's the truth. I'm lazy. I'm tired a bit. And so my argument is a bit indifferent. But the point I'm trying to make is that it needed not to be on social media. There needs to be a mediator. I'm certainly not going to take the video and share it around. I have spoken about it so much that you will never be one with your mother. You will never be superior to your mother. You will never be equal to your mother. It's simply not possible. Even if it was, it's not probable. It's not logics. You will never be equal to her, even if she is a crackhead. You understand and respect the fact that that's the person who gave birth to you, and you keep her at an arm's length. You limit every single thing that you have dealing with this individual if you simply cannot get along. But you will never be equal with the person. You have to respect the fact that this is a person who gave birth to you. As sad as the story is or the reality is, when you're dealing with the situation that arises through communication or through deeds, you have to respect the fact that that is your mother, and that's where it lies. That's where it lies. It's not about trauma bonding. It's not about that. You are just respecting the fact that the existence of you comes from her giving birth to you. You understand? And if you can't get along, you seek a mediator. Seek a mediator that can speak to both of you. And if you wish to go your separate ways, then you do so. You understand? And you keep the conversation minimal, not conversation or topics that will trigger. Mothers need to respect that. Daughters need to respect the decision of their mothers also. They need to respect that this is a person who stands over you. This is a person who is there for you. And that's just how it is. It's sad, but that's just how it is. Yeah, they're going to say that you never did anything for them. They're ungrateful just the same. You know that they're ungrateful. You know that they're ungrateful. You know what you have dealing with. And because of such, like I said, you minimize certain things. You keep certain things at an arm's length. You diminish certain conversation that you know going to trigger you. That's all you have to do. And that's really all I have to say about the entire situation. Thank you guys so much for your time. Enjoy your day. May God bless you. I hope that Dyema and her mother resolve her issue. I like her name. And it's an African name. And it's actually pronounced Dyema. But because, with Patois, we just say Dyema. But it's actually pronounced Dyema. And I like it. It's spelled two different ways. I think it's spelled with a D-A-H and it's spelled with a D-Y-E also. And so I like her name. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It can be fixed. It's not too late. And so I hope that they find ways to fix it and make things better, to create a positive instead of a negative picture. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time again. And may God bless you. Bye-bye.